afternoon, everybody. Certainly want to welcome you to the city of Angel, Los Angeles. This is the official kickoff press conference for Benavidez versus Plant. I'm Brian Custer, the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, March 25th. Showtime pay-per-view. We finally get one of the fights that boxing fans have been demanding for quite some time, and one of the most significant fights of the year. Listen, it's a grudge match that goes back well over 5 years. You know, and sometimes in this business we use hyperbole to describe, hype a fight up. We call it bad blood. Two fighters can't stand each other. I think it's really only appropriate that we're here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, because not even Hollywood can script the hostility between both of these fighters. There is no hyperbole here for this fight. The animus between these two guys is real. And let's be honest, when you have that kind of hostility, it can produce iconic, great fights. I'm talking Ali Frazier. I'm talking Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, Leonard Duran, recently, Fury, Wilder. But more importantly, Benavidez versus Plant is a marquee matchup. It is a true test of both fighters at the very elite level. And with Canelo trying to hold on to all four of them belts, without a doubt, this is the very best fight that can be made right now at 168 pounds. And it all comes your way Saturday, March 25th, in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and on the undisputed King of Boxing Showtime pay-per-view. The broadcast will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern, at 6 o'clock Pacific time. The fight is being brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions, is being produced and distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View, and it's being promoted by TGB Promotions and Samson Boxing. I know what you want to know. Tickets on sale, and you can get your tickets now at AXS.com. I would get them now, get them early, because they're selling. AXS.com. Let me introduce one of the promoters of this fight. He's the president of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. And people like to say the big fights never get made. That's just not true with PBC and Showtime. This is the type of fight that makes this sport the greatest sport in the world. Saturday, March 25th is going to be an incredible night. This is what we're all in the game for fights like this, for wars like this to get made. There's nothing more exciting than seeing two fighters in their prime, slugging it out. And that's what this is all about. We all remember the great fights. Brian mentioned some of them, the past, that we just loved watching, the Diego Corrales, Castillos, the Gotti Wards, and so many other just classic brawls that left us wanting for more. And I believe that this fight between Caleb Plant and David Benavidez will be added to that list of epic brawls between two warriors taking things to a whole nother level. This fight will be a candidate for Fight of the Year, if not the Fight of the Year in 2023. This is a fight you don't want to miss. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Let me bring to the podium now one of the men who was certainly very instrumental in bringing this mega fight to fruition. He's the president of sports, event programming, For Showtime Network, Mr. Steven Espinosa.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate Brian coming cross country. He's one of the busiest men in sports television nowadays. You see him on just about every network, but we're thrilled that he's been a part of Showtime Championship Boxing for so long. I'm going to be brief. As Brian said, you can usually tell the quality of a fight because it's inversely proportional to the amount of hype and hyperbole that people say. The harder people try to convince you that it's an excellent fight, the more likely it's not. I'm not going to try and convince you anything, because if you know anything about boxing, you know this is one of the very best fights that can be made in the sport. The consensus, number one and number two contenders in this division, this is a high stakes matchup, personally and professionally. There's a personal rivalry here. There is bragging rights here. There is supremacy in the division at stake. As Brian mentioned, the pay-per-view will be distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View, start time of 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. There will be an all-access, of course. The Emmy Award-winning series will premiere on March 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Just a couple of words about these two fighters. David Benavidez, called the Mexican Monster by none other than Mike Tyson. Some of the fastest hands in the heavier divisions and in the sport overall. This will be the 8th time he's fought on Showtime, and he's grown up on Showtime. He first caught our eye on Showbox way back in 2015. Since then, he's fought in special editions, he's fought on Championship Boxing, and this will be his first appearance on a pay-per-view. He's been on the stage so long that it's easy to forget that he's only 26 years old. He's the youngest ever champion at 168 pounds at the tender age of 20 years old. And he is one of the most entertaining fighters in all of the sport. As for Caleb, this will be his 3rd appearance on Showtime, his 2nd on Showtime pay-per-view. He is an excellent boxer, fundamentally solid, underrated power. He's coming off what for many people, including CBS Sports and Boxing Scene, ranked as the 2022 knockout of the year. Highlight reel knockout of Anthony Durrell, a very durable Anthony Durrell. And if you have any doubts about Caleb Plant's power, go back and watch that highlight, and you won't. The last time Caleb fought on Showtime pay-per-view was a grueling 11-round fight against Canelo Alvarez. And there are many people who thought that he provided a blueprint. You know, the jab, the movement, frustrating Canelo in a way we haven't seen him frustrated very long. And it's that combination of skills and power that makes him a worthy adversary for David Benavidez. You know, as Tom says, and I've spoken about this before, it seems like many times in this sport, people want to pay more attention to the fights that don't get made than the fights that do. Well, this is an outstanding fight. And more importantly, neither one of these two fighters had to take it. This is not a mandatory, it's not an eliminator, it's not something that anyone had to be talked into. This is something that each of these two fighters wanted personally, professionally. And again, boxing got it right, as it often does. We'll see you March 25th. Thank you.
Thank you, Steven. No bigger proponent and fan of the sport, Steven Espinosa, of course, the president of our division. Grateful to have him here and to continue to put on fights like this. It's going to be a great year. And March 25th is going to be a great night. We're going to talk about the fight with both of these guys. These guys are both former champions. Talk with their team. Before we get into that, I want to acknowledge a couple of members who are here in the audience as well, and key members of the fight camp. I want to start with Richie Plant. I saw Richie, who is not only Caleb's father, his co-trainer. Richie Plant, if you could, just wave your hand for us. There he is. Here he is. Larry Wade, I saw Larry as well. Caleb's strength and conditioning coach. There he is. Good to see you, Larry. So I wanted to acknowledge those guys. Let's talk to the people up here on the podium and dive into this fight. I want to bring to the podium as well, give us a statement. He is the trainer right now, head trainer of Caleb Plant, comes out of Philly. This guy was the trainer of the former unified champion of the world. He's known as Bread Man, Stephen Edwards.
How you guys doing today? Privileged to be in this spot. Get to showcase our hard work against a great fighter in David Benavidez. I feel like I got a great fighter in Caleb Plant. I'm just ecstatic to show what we've been working on March 25th. You know, everybody's talking about bad blood between Caleb and David, but you know, at the end of the day, these kids got to fight on March the 25th. So all of the bad blood, it really don't matter because they can settle it, you know, in about 7 weeks. And at the top level of boxing, we kind of all need each other to make money. You know, we don't take these fights. We can't provide a certain kind of lifestyle for our families. So, you know, I'm glad, you know, this was an easy fight to make. Caleb called me, told me he was making a fight. I know Team Benavidez wanted to fight for a very long time. So here we are. We've already been in camp for a couple of weeks. And I just can't wait to go. I don't have much to say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bread Man. Now to the Benavidez side of it. Bring here to the podium. This man, he's also the trainer. He's the manager of David Benavidez, and most importantly, his father, Jose Benavidez Sr.
Well, first of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here. I want to thank all the fans, the media, Sansa, my promoter, Picasso, also TGB, Al Heyman for this big opportunity. I'm just telling you guys, you know, this fight is going to be a good fight. You guys got to get your pay-per-view fight. Also, before I forget, I want to thank my team. We brought Memo Heredia to the team, my assistant coaches, Javi, Poncho, because I can't keep up with the Mexican monster. Getting hit too hard. So I need assistance, you know, and I have like about 4 assistants. I guarantee you guys are going to have a good fight, an exciting fight, May 25th. Don't miss it. Buy your pay-per-views, because guys, we're going to fuck this guy up. We're going to send him to a hospital. Thank you.
All right then. But March 25th. We'll make sure we got that right. All right. Let me introduce the fighters. That's what y'all came here to see. So coming to the podium is a man who, you know, if you heard Stephen describe him, sublime boxer. But don't let the smooth taste fool you now. He's got some pop. You can ask Jose Benavidez. You can also ask Anthony Durrell. CBS Sports, boxing scene, knockout of the year. Just 30 years old, 22-1. He's got 13 knockouts. Of course, coming from the Ville, Nashville, now living out of Las Vegas, he's known as Sweet Hands. Caleb Sweet Hands Plant.
What's going on, everybody? Want to thank Al Heyman, Luis Garcia, my manager. Want to thank Stephen Espinosa and Showtime. Thank everybody for coming out today. And we got a big fight on our hands, but that's good. That's what boxing needs, is big fights. And I want to be someone to help deliver that to the boxing world. I'm sure he does too. You know, coming off of an 11-month layoff after the Canelo fight, I could have chose somebody to get in the ring with that no one knew, some nobody, just some sparring session of a match. But, you know, I told my team I want to make the biggest fight possible. And that may not be the biggest fight out there, but give me the biggest fight possible. They came back to me with 2-time former world champ, Anthony Durrell. And he was ranked high enough in the WBC to make that a 12-round a WBC title eliminator. And you being the interim champ, and that being a title eliminator means I fight him, that means we get it on next, right?
You were pressured. You didn't want to fight. That's why you got all those fucking demands.
Huh?
You got fucking pressure. You didn't want to fight. What did you ask for? 22-foot boxing ring? Rival gloves?
No,
Blue
I
corner?
didn't
You want to come
I
as the
didn't
champion?
ask
Who's
for
the
rival
champion?
gloves.
David, the
I didn't ask
Mexican
for
mobster is
rival
the champion. You want to come out as the champion.
David said, let me talk.
Oh,
So,
bitch.
being a 12 round, you know, a title eliminator, that means I know I'm next in line to fight for the interim champ, which is David. And so going into the Darrell fight, I knew what was happening next. I knew the plan. And so, you know, the narrative of me being pressured or bullied or cornered into, you know, having to fight him, it's not the case. I knew going in, hey, 12 round title eliminator, that means interim belt next. And, you know, the winner of this fight comes Canelo's mandatory for the WBC world title. So I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm in the fight that I want. You know, in 2017, when David beat Ronald Graville, I was waiting, you know, right at the bottom of the stairs saying, hey, let's make it happen. Let's do it. In 2019, I won a world title. 2020, me and my team, we reach out to Samson and say, hey, would you guys like to make something happen? He said, no, it's not time yet. You know, we need to let that fight marinate. We need to let it, you know, stay on the show for a minute, build it up, whatever. I don't know his intentions. So I go off on my mandatories. In the meantime, he loses his belt for a second time. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's fight. Well, I got the Canelo fight on the line now. So why would I toss that away to fight you? I don't know if you're gonna show up on weight. I don't know if you're gonna, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. So why would I throw that chance away to fight for Undisputed, to fight a future Hall of Famer, to fight someone, you know, one of the biggest fights in boxing. That's why we're in this, right? To have the biggest fights. So that's the fight I took, the Canelo fight. And March 25th, you ain't gotta worry about me pulling out.
Show up.
I'm gonna show up.
Take care of those fragile hands.
Yep.
Okay, show up.
Because remember, this ain't my first big fight.
Want to see you.
This ain't my first one. I've been here
Show
before,
up.
and I've done it.
Show up.
And when I show up on weight, and I don't test positive for cocaine neither. So don't worry about me
Been knocked
showing
the
up.
fuck out already, but Canelo pushed you
Don't-
to sleep. That's
don't-
exactly what I'm gonna do to you too.
Hey,
You're fucking
at the highest level,
at
great
the highest
fighters
level.
fight
You
great
still hit like
fighters.
a bitch. You got 13 fucking knockouts.
So
I
what?
fucking fight. You hit like a little bitch.
Ask Anthony
Well,
Durrell.
what
What I do to Anthony Durrell?
Finish what the fuck you gotta say.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
Finish what you gotta say.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
You're scared. You're scared. Look at you.
It's
You're
a lot of
scared.
tough guy, rah stuff. You know,
Yeah,
even
this fucking guy, he
he-
fucking looks like he's about to cry. Look at his fucking eyes. I know a pussy when I see one.
yeah. Even his dad, you know, senior, he calls all types of fighters bitches and pussies. And,
I respect
you know,
everybody. You're a bitch. I respect
may-
everybody.
You may, you know, you may hear banter between fighters. You may even hear a fighter say something like, "I've never lost to a white boy, and I'm not about to start now."
Who the fuck said
With-
that? When did I
Anthony
fucking
Durrell?
say that? Am I Anthony Durrell?
I'm not talking
Am
about
I
you.
Anthony Durrell? So don't bring that up. Like if I'm the one saying that shit too.
I didn't say you said that.
Finish what the fuck you gotta say.
Then shut
Let
the
me
fuck up
get.
and
Whoa,
put your-
Man, we could have got outside the fucking hotel. You a fucking pussy, you got all these fucking people with you.
This dude ain't
You
scared.
know I said that's what
He,
Alright.
he's so mad.
So man, I'm about to beat the fuck
He's so
out of
mad. You're not gonna do
I'm about to
nothing.
beat the fuck out of this pussy right here.
So anyways, you
That's
know,
why you guys don't have no fucking
you hear
problem.
Jose Senior, you know, he calls fighters bitches and pussies, and you may hear that between fighters, but you don't normally hear boxing coaches talking like that. You don't really hear that is because a lot of boxing trainers, you know, they've been in the ring.
You gotta go run, brother.
They've been in the
You gotta
ring.
go
They
run.
fought
Go
before.
exercise so you can
But
run.
you've never
They're gonna
fought.
close the fucking track.
You've never made that walk. You never had to lace up a pair of gloves to feed your
You're a
family.
bitch.
You don't know what it's
You're a
like.
bitch.
So
Sit
it's
down.
easy for you to toss those words
You're a
around
bitch.
because you've never had to do it.
You're a bitch.
You never had to do
You're
it.
scared. Look at you. You wanna cry.
I want to cry. So anyways, March 25th, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to be on weight. I ain't going to be on cocaine. And I'm going to whoop his ass.
Show up.
Thank you, Caleb.
Should've brought your glasses so we could slap you in the face.
Get on right here. We can get on right here. Why you whispering? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why you whispering? Talk to me like a fucking man. Pussy.
All right, now, coming to the podium. It's fine. They're fine. Coming to the podium. Unbeaten. He's 26-0, 23 knockouts. He is the former two-time WBC super middleweight champion of the world. He has been nicknamed the Mexican Monster. He is David Benavidez.
First of all, I want to thank God because without him, none of this is possible. Secondly, I want to thank Al Heyman, Samson Lukowicz, Lisa Kubas, my father Jose Benavidez, and David Garcia. This has been a fight in the making for the past 5 years, and I couldn't have come at a better time. I'm at my best right now, mentally and physically. There's been a lot of shit talking going back and forth, but on March 25th, I get to put hands on Caleb Plant. And trust me, when I say, I'm gonna beat the fucking living shit out of you, pussy. I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you. Well, yeah, and then when you're in the fucking ground bleeding from your fucking mouth, you realize how to respect a real fucking muscle. That's real. What? I'm scared because I'm fucking...
David, leave him alone. He's about to cry.
This dude, man, he has 13 knockouts. He thinks just because he knocked fucking Anthony Durrell out, that's supposed to mean something to me. I beat the shit out of Anthony Durrell when I was 23 years old. I was champion before you. I got 3 fucking belts right now. Man, I'm what you want to fucking be. You're a fucking chump. You ain't nothing. And watch, March 25th, mark my words, I'm gonna put this motherfucker in the hospital.
All right. All right, guys, let's get in. Let's just talk about the fight here. David, I'll come to you first. Significant fight in this weight division. Tell us, from your perspective, how did this fight get made? Because we've been waiting for so long. Yes.
Well, this fight, it happened at the right time. He had a sensational one with Anthony Durrell. I take nothing away from that. And I felt like it was a right move to make for both of us. We both needed a step up in class. I've been wanting to fight him for a long, long time. And then now they made the winner of this fight the mandatory for Canelo. So it couldn't come at a better time. I'm super motivated right now. I'm pumped and I can't wait.
Caleb, you kind of gave us a good timeline, and we hear, and look, we see, it's not like, look, Stephen Wonder can see you guys don't like each other. But I think the question that I think most boxing fans want to know, when did the bad blood start? How did it start?
Well, I think, just natural. David's obviously one of the top in the division. I'm obviously one of the top in the division. And, just agreeing to disagree on who's better, I believe is how it started. He thinks he's better than me, and that's fine. He should feel like that. What great fighter doesn't feel like he's the best? And, I feel the same way. Then it slowly just starts to build over time. And, when it kind of became more than just regular fighter-to-fighter banter, going back and forth is when, he started bringing up, my daughter Aaliyah's name and the senior I'm talking about. And, even like liking pictures of social media of me and my daughter Aaliyah in the hospital bed, just different things like that. And once it got to that, it was like past, oh, I'm better than you, or, you can't beat me, I'll beat you up. Once you start to bringing someone's kids into it and, people's wives or anything like that, to me, that's past the point of return.
Just to get that clear, you gotta check out. You gotta go check the internet about your life. I didn't make that shit up, man. I got respect for his daughter. I have kids. You gotta stop that shit, bro. You check out his story life, and you'll see what he's talking about. I didn't make that shit up.
David, we've heard you, obviously up here saying what you were going to do. You were quoted in the boxing scene by saying, quote, I'm going to break his effing mouth, and I guarantee you I am going to spark knock him out. But you also told E! News, Ellie Setback, quote, I'm going to give him the worst beating he's ever had, and his corner is going to have to stop the fight. And I'm going to enjoy watching him quit on the stool like a bee. So I guess which one is it?
So when I did that interview with Ellie, it was 2 weeks ago. Now, I wake up feeling different every day. But I feel like, for me, what the fans want to see, they want to go in there, they want to see a knockout. And he could try to act like I'm not like that, but look at my record. 26-0, 23 knockouts. Look at everybody, how they look after I fight them. They're beat the fuck up. His partner in training. And I don't want to be a dick either because I love Kyron and Davis, but you know, I don't, when I get up in here, I don't play around. They know what I am. I'm the Mexican monster. This is exactly what I do, and he's no fucking different. He's no different from any other fighter I fought. So he's gonna see March 25th.
Caleb, you guys have certainly had back and forth on social media, and you said, quote, there are wolves and there are sheep, and if you don't know which one you are, then you aren't a wolf. Explain to us what you were talking about when you said that to David.
No, that's not what I said to David. That was just, you know, a caption on an Instagram post of me on it. That had nothing to do with David. That's just for life in general, you know. In life, if you want to succeed, you got to be a wolf. And there's a wolf and there's sheep, and if you don't know which one you are, then you probably aren't a wolf. So
David he's repeated a number of things that, you know, Jose Uzcategui, I remember him saying about you. Anthony Durrell said the same thing about you, that, look, all this guy's going to do is run around the ring.
I'm not Uzcategui, and I'm not Anthony Durrell either.
You knocked Uzcategui down a couple times. We saw what you did to Anthony Durrell. What does David Benavidez need to know about Caleb Plant and the power he has in his hands on March 25th?
just, you know, March 25th, I'm coming. I'm going to be fully prepared. And I've been at this level before. I've done this before. And I know what it takes. And so, you know, from now until March 25th, it's really just about who can train the hardest from now until then. And who can keep their foot on the gas without taking it off during camp.
Hey, but he know how the canvas feel too, so I'm gonna put him back on that motherfucker.
What do you say?
Oh, so you don't know how the canvas feels? You ain't been laid out before.
Canvas.
The canvas. Now you don't fucking understand or what?
I mean, I don't know. I can't understand what you're saying. Canvas.
The floor.
What about it?
You've been on.
Be laying down.
Okay.
Been on the fucking floor already, so I'm gonna put you
And
back
you've been on the
floor.
canvas too. You got dropped by Ronald Burville.
I didn't get fucking put to sleep like you.
I
I ain't get fucking put to sleep like you. You got knocked the fuck out in front of everybody.
Hey, I got back
You're
up.
talking about you don't know if you're a fucking wolf or a sheep, motherfucker. You've been on the floor. You a sheep.
No,
So what are you talking about? You ain't no fucking wolf.
Sheep don't get to sit
You
up
a
here.
fucking sheep, bro.
Sheep don't get to
Hey,
sit up
you.
here.
One of the
That
things.
motherfucker so hurt, he thinks he won that fight.
And you aren't a
Hold on,
sheep.
Jose.
Hey, David, and you aren't a sheep either. I don't think you're a sheep.
One of the things
Sheep don't
that
get to sit up here at on the stage. I know you're a wolf. I'm a wolf too. And yeah, you touched the canvas. I touched the canvas. I know I got stopped, but I got right
You
back
got
up.
knocked out.
And I wanted to continue, but hey, you know, the ref did his job. It was a good stoppage. And, you know, I took my hat to Canelo. He's a great
Stop.
fighter, but
one of the things
that's
that
not no knock on me.
Yeah, one of the things
Stop.
that Jose talked about, and you can address this too, Caleb, is, you know, he said, listen, Caleb Plant wanted a bigger ring. We've agreed to give him a bigger ring. Tell us why, if that's true.
Well, yeah, you know, after the fight with Durrell, I knew that it was time to move forward and make the fight with David. And if, you know, we couldn't get that done, I was trying to step to Charlo and see if we could make that happen as well. Luis said, what would it take?
What does that have to do with the bigger ring? What does you trying to fight Charlo have to do with
Yeah,
you
no,
like
I'm
requesting a
getting to
bigger
it.
ring?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
How about if I would have said no to a blue corner? You know,
And,
I said yes to everything. They're like asking, saying,
These guys
you can
are
ask
just
David.
like
I said,
Durrell,
no,
it's
fucking David
crazy.
doesn't give a fuck. You'll take whatever. He just wants to get you in the fight on the ring.
You got it. Go ahead. Answer.
Okay. And, you know, he said, what would it take to make that fight happen? I gave him a list of some things that I thought that, you know, I wanted to have. And within like a day or two, he came back and he said, done deal. And, you know, even from Jose Sr.'s side and David's side, he said as soon as they came to him with those negotiations, he just immediately, you know, said yes to everything because he thought I was giving, you know, trying to get out of something or something like that. But, you know, if you're going to, as soon as they bring something to you, just say yes to everything. That's not really a negotiating tactic. So
You got pressure.
it's not
You
my
got
problem
pressure
that
to
you
take that
said,
fight.
it's not my problem that you said yeah to everything as soon as they brought it to you. And, you know, I said, hey, what about a 22 by 22 foot ring? What about it being in Las Vegas? As far as the rival gloves, you wear rival gloves every fight.
What about if I would have said no to
So
blue
I had
corner?
no request for you to wear a certain glove, or I'm wearing Grants. So if I had a request, I would make you wear the same gloves as me. I wouldn't make you wear different gloves than me. So that don't make no sense. So as far as the gloves, I ain't got no idea about that. My contract says a glove of your choice.
David, how important is this fight to this weight division and to the sport in general?
This is the most important fight of my career to this day. I feel like after this fight, I'm gonna just pass that threshold and get to where I wanted to be. The goal I had for myself when I was a little kid, when I said I wanted a pay-per-view star, that's that's what's gonna happen after this fight. And it's I feel like every fighter has one of these fights, one of the grudge matches that really brings the best out of them. And I know I don't like Caleb Plant at all, but I want to thank him too for bringing this animal out of me, because this is the hardest I've ever worked. I've been training like a fucking animal, and I'm very excited, and I'm happy to show. I'm gonna be happy to show the people and give all my fans a good knockout, because this is gonna be a hell of a fight. It's not gonna be easy, but we're definitely gonna go in and we're gonna get the knockout.
And I know you've been training, because obviously for the Katagi fight, at one point you were going to fight him. Any fear of overtraining? Because you've been in camp for a long time, it seems like.
Well, you have to, I mean, if you're a professional boxer, this is my profession. I mean, I don't put a lot of stuff on Instagram, but I'm always training. I only take 3 weeks after my fight, and I train. You know, as a fighter, I've been professional 10 years. You have to know when to push it up and when to pull it down. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's no fear of overtraining at all.
Do you believe, and I know that has come out, do you believe Caleb's been spying on your camp?
He's been looking at my guy's fucking Daniel Blanca's his dad's story. He looks at my videographer Jeremy's story, and then his photographer started following them. So I mean, if we're gonna fight each other, I'm not gonna go look at his stuff. Why am I gonna look at his stuff?
Caleb, I'll ask you the same questions. Ask him. How important is this fight to the 168-pound division and to the sport?
It's super important. You know, me and David have both been at the top of the division for, you know, some time now. And, you know, the time of now, kind of how he said, perfect timing. And I also think it's important for the sport in general to let these other guys know, you know, don't be scared to let it all hang out. Big fights is what boxing's about. And, you know, it's about legacy. And this is a legacy fight for me and my team. And it's going to lead us to bigger and better things. So, you know, I couldn't be more excited.
Lastly, we'll wrap it up with this. Caleb, we'll start with you. In Las Vegas, Showtime pay-per-view, for all the people who will pay their hard-earned money, buy tickets, buy the fight, what can you guarantee that they're going to get on March 25th when you step in the ring with David Benavidez?
They're going to get a hell of a fight. I mean, again, I've never said David's a bad fighter. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I'm not interested in fighting bad fighters. I want to fight good fighters. I want to make big fights happen. And this is the biggest fight in the division that can be made. So I'm excited to do that March 25th. I see myself getting my hand raised.
David, you get the final word. For all those people coming out to the MGM Grand Garden Arena, paying their hard-earned money to Showtime pay-per-view to watch this fight, what can you guarantee they're going to get on March 25th?
March 25th, I guarantee you I'm going to knock Caleb Pound out before round 6. Guaranteed.
There you have it, folks. It is one of the most significant fights of the year. It goes down on Showtime pay-per-view March 25th, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Get your tickets now for David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, 2 former world champions going at it at 168 pounds. Guys, if you would, you could just have a stand right there. You can stand right there, and we'll just face there, face those cameras. That's it. Just face the cameras. So we can get a good picture here. That's it. That's what people want to see. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, the 2 top guys at 168 pounds on Showtime pay-per-view, March 25th. From the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you for watching. We'll see you March 25th in Las Vegas and on Showtime pay-per-view.
Television, TV, anybody with the cameras would like to do Caleb Plant. We're going to start over here for TV over here. Print, if you want to sit with David, print reporters, into that black curtain, please. Yes.
Caleb's on this side here.
For television? Not yet.
Caleb's on this side here.
Thank you. It's fine.
We'll start over here, then we'll move over. It's going to be kind of free for all, so just do your best.
Excuse me.
Let's go. Let's take him up. Get him up. Go, bro. Let's go. Get him out. Come get him out. Come on, let's go back to your show. He's right.
10 more minutes here, then we're done. Caleb Jordan, 10 more minutes, then we're gonna wrap up,
Hold on, guys.
I mean, it seemed like some of this stuff was a little cringy, even in the crowd. It's like, we've got a lot to say, that's cool, but, something don't get it done. Fight.
The bad blood, how much can that take away from an actual performance in the ring?
I mean, it just all depends on how you channel it, And again, this is his first big fight. This ain't my first big fight. I've been here before. I've been on the big stage more than once, whether it was Jose, whether it was Canelo, whether he's going there and doing it.
How important is it for you to let everybody know at the end of the day that you're better than Benavidez?
I mean, say that one more time.
How important is it for you to let everybody know and show everybody that you're better than Benavidez?
Yeah, I mean, I've let everybody know, but I'm not with the yelling and the rah-rah, so I want to show people. So on March 25th, tune in, Showtime pay-per-view. You'll be able to see for yourself.
David, Caleb, your reaction to what just happened between even the photographers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show you again, like, this photographer coming up and pushing ours. And, it's just a whole lot of tough guy, rah-rah stuff. Even this morning when we got here, it's like they was waiting in the lobby, and as soon as we pulled up, they want to come up to the car, and it's like, but all this, with all these cameras and all these security guards, this is a controlled environment. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to act tough when it's a controlled environment. All these big motherfuckers standing around waiting for some shit to pop off, and so they can jump in between it. So it's easy, it's easy to run your big stuff when a motherfucker got, 15 security guards. So.
Is it a stepping stone for a rematch with Canelo? Do you see it that way?
I mean, yeah, the winner of this fight becomes the WBC mandatory, so absolutely.
With this fight coming up on the 25th, where you say where you're at mentally?
Mentally, just locked in. I feel relaxed. I'm calm and just focused. I just want to get the job done.
And then what would you say his best attribute that you have to worry about?
Probably the big ass titties he got.
How does it feel to be able to fight in Vegas with your fans close by?
It feels good. Fought in Vegas before, and I'm excited to be back in the Mecca of boxing. MGM Grand Live. This is what kids dream of. Any person who's been halfway serious and laced up a pair of boxing gloves, they dream of. Main event, Showtime, and pay-per-view. At the MGM Grand. So. There's been some demand for this fight, and we have it now. So, we've done our job on lifting up our end of the couch, and now it's time for the fans to do their job. Allow the pay-per-view, tune in, support us, and that's going to encourage, us to continue to make big fights and other fighters to continue to take big fights.
Caleb, how much do you think having the experience of being in there with Canelo, going 11 rounds, he has some success in there? Do you think that's going to help you heading into this fight?
Yeah, absolutely. That's experience. And like I've said before, experience isn't something you can buy. You got to go through the fire to get it. And I've done that, whether it was with Canelo, Jose Benavidez, even my last fight with Darrell, being on a co-main event pay-per-view, there was a lot of bad blood there too. And a lot of things he had to say, but at the end of the day, usually what get it done.
What kind of a fighter are you that he hasn't faced yet in his career?
I can do a lot of things. I feel like a lot of the people he's fought have been one-dimensional. IQ has been decent, but nowhere near. Not even the same universe as what I'm able to do on fight night. So just tune in and see.
Caleb, does your mood change, your mentality change after today, after the press conference, and how it went down?
No, I don't let outside forces dictate how motivated I am or how disciplined I am, how hard I train. Regardless, I'm going to be training just as hard. I'm going to be just as focused and locked in. So.
Does it give you extra motivation, though, or an extra to get him because of the bad blood and the trash talk?
Caleb, how do you think his emotions are going to play out in the fight with you once you guys start actually putting hands on each other?
I don't know. We'll have to see. I can say a million things. It's just speculation at this point. So, if that's what he feels like he needs to do to get himself up and prepared and feel like he's a tough guy and do a bunch of yelling and, yip-yapping and shit like that, then do what you got to do.
Does that not bother you at all? None of that stuff concerns you?
No, that stuff don't bother me. I've been boxing a long time at a high level. I'm a Golden Glove national champion. I'm an Olympic trialist. I'm an Olympic alternate. I fought in the WSB. These pro fights that we mentioned with Jose and Darrell, I've been through a lot of this for a long time. So things like that don't really, get me amped up or just anything.
We did, however, see you at the end of the Darrell fight, kind of do the shovel, like the old school Tito Ortiz, kind of put him in the dirt type thing. Will we see something like that if you were to get a victory on March 25th?
I don't know. It's not like that was premeditated. I didn't have that plan or anything. It was just in the moment. And so, again, you want to see a celebration of the year, you got to tune in.
You had the T-shirt plan, though.
Yeah, I did have that. That was premeditated, yeah.
And anything premeditated T-shirt-wise coming into this one?
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
One more question, guys.
Come on, Marcos. I know you got it going.
One-on-one. But let me ask you this. Given just how long it's taken to get this fight, like how happy are you that you finally have this fight?
I'm super excited. Again, I back in 2020, my team reached out to Samson and to see if they were interested. He said that it wasn't time, and needed to marinate, and he'd take longer and simmer to generate more money or whatever. He winds up losing his belt for a second time. I had a mandatory in place. My team comes to me and says, hey, if we do one more mandatory against Caleb True, actually I have a year's free and worth to get that Canelo fight. We're going to get that in. I said, let's make it happen. And then all of a sudden, they wanted to make the fight happen. But I was moving on to bigger and better things at that time. And things worked out how they worked out. We're here now. It's great for boxing. It's great for me. It's great for the fans. So.
Caleb, just curious, if the ball was to come down all the way to 168 to rematch Canelo, it looks like he's really taking that. He might take that opportunity, like he's really looking at it seriously, possibly coming down. Can Ball duplicate the performance at 175 at 168 against Canelo?
I couldn't say for sure. Bivol, he's a great fighter, and he did a great job against Canelo. Would the weight difference, make a difference? I can't say for sure. I don't know how hard it is for him to make the weight, so somebody have to see.
I kind of mean like you felt his power, so do you think that?
If you go that way, you gotta go away.
Yeah, so he was in that whole Olympic
I got a junior party free, which comes out in the beginning of March. So that this, I think is gonna. I'm hoping it does. It's just the whole boxing.
I wanted to get some quotes, so when we do our socials, so we can make some face content too.
Full cut?
I can see the numbers and I know what it does. And it's sort of like
It's just cool, like Mike Tyson is in my corner too, you know what I mean? It's really dope, bro, and I'm very, very happy.
En español, David, ¿cómo fue conocer a Mike Tyson?
Fue algo como era como un sueño. Mike Tyson es mi favorito, todo lo que pasó con él, estoy bien, bien feliz de nomás conocerlo y tenerlo ahí y hablar con él.
Y el apoyo que te dice que es el monstruo mexicano.
No, pues es un sueño para mí, el apoyo que me da y me motiva un chingo y me siento muy bien ahorita.
Gracias, campeón.
Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your dad. You guys ever clash? Did you guys train together?
Yeah, I mean, dad and father, dad and son always clash, but I feel like that's what makes it good. You know, he has certain ideas, I have certain ideas, but what I like to do now is I like to listen to him. I feel like more ideas than just besides mine are good for the whole team and good for our team. But he keeps me motivated. He's kept me motivated since I was a kid. He trained me since I was 2 years old, and we've made a lot of history together. And I want to keep making history.
Yeah, to Caleb.
David.
Just a rumor on do you feel any pressure that you're fighting? I'm saying, do you feel any pressure for the fact that you're fighting in basically Caleb's ground?
Nah, Vegas is my city. I used to live in Vegas, and I've lived in Vegas. I've lived here in California. I lived in Long Beach. Lived in Seattle, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona. I feel like the type of person I am with my fans. I feel like everywhere I go, even Texas too. Texas, I love Texas. Love Miami. It's just that I'm a fan-friendly fighter. You know what I mean? If I see a lot of people, I take pictures with people. I take my time out of my day to make sure that they're satisfied. So everywhere I fight is home for me. Las Vegas is my home.
David, how did you feel his energy up there when you fought?
Scared. His energy since I even came out the hotel, he's scared, bro. I know somebody's scared, but I've been doing this for a long enough time. I knock people out, I stop, I'll beat the shit out of people, so I know when somebody's scared. All that fake shit, he wants to act like he's tough, he's like stone cold, and I know a scared person when I see him.
How do you deal with the emotions in the fight, right? Like, you're obviously...
I've been a professional for 10 years, you know what I mean? So I know how to handle it. I've never wanted to just go in there and look for a knockout. I do my stuff right, I do my job right, and the knockout comes by itself. But there's emotions, but I'm smarter than to go in with a lot of emotions and not do my job.
Benavidez, sabemos que eres un hombre que habla con los puños y ¿por qué tanto coraje contra Plan? ¿Por qué?
No, pues es un tipo de peleador que no me gusta, habla un chingo, dice muchas cosas de mí, que yo soy un gordo, que que no hago el peso. Por todas las cosas que dijo, tiene que pagar. Y yo lo voy a hacer pagar marzo 25.
Claro, ¿hay algún plan para ir contra Canelo? Veo que no
sí,
mencionas.
Después el plan es para ir contra Canelo, pero la verdad yo quiero pelear a todos los peleadores que son los mejores ahorita. Hay David Morrell, me encanta David Morrell, es un peleador muy bueno. Yo creo que yo y él va a ser una pelea muy grande. En el futuro hay Berlenga, Charlo, hay muchísimos peleadores ahorita. A ver qué pasa después de esta pelea.
David, what do you think about his energy?
Gracias.
He was like I said, bro. I know the energy. I know a scared person when I see him. I've been beating the shit out of people my whole life. You know what I mean? So he can act like he's going in there. He's not scared of me, but I know he's scared of me.
He's gonna be more surprised once he steps.
To be surprised, and I'm not gonna fuck up. That's what he's gonna be surprised though.
What's the headline reading on the 26th of March on that Sunday morning?
David Benavidez knocks out Caleb Plant in round 6.
David, who are some of your favorite Mexican fighters growing up?
Marco Antonio Barrera, Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Benito Lopez. Who else? Oscar De La Hoya. There's a lot of them, bro. I can't really name them. There's a lot of good Mexican fighters, but yeah, I want to follow the line and be added to that, as a great Mexican fighter.
Talk about what iron.
Yeah, I feel like I have like 4 fights left at the super middleweight. The only reason I stayed on for so long because I wanted to make this fight happen for sure. And then since I'm already there, I might as well just try to make these other big fights happen. We got Canelo, we got Morrell, Charlo, and then after that, or maybe Andre, and then after that, I'm going up to 175. But if I can't get any of those fights made, then I'm going up to 175.
Speaking of 175, what did you think about Artur Beterbievu's performance versus Anthony Yarde the other night? I
thought it was a really good performance, but he does leave himself open a lot. I feel like I could have a lot of success with him, and I would love to fight him in the future. He leaves his body open a lot. He's really you can really hit him a lot with combinations. So it would definitely be an extremely tough risk or a tough task. I would want to go up to 175 and see how it is first before I go to the main guy. But I think 175 I'm gonna be even more stronger and faster.
That's clean. I like that.
175 right now. Bivol or Beterbiev?
I think until they fight, you can't really tell. You can't really say. They are both the champions. So until they fight, I think Bivol beat Beterbiev though, to be honest. But I can't really say until it happens. But yeah, I think Bivol's movement and how he fights and how disciplined he is, I think he has what it takes to beat Beterbiev.
Canelo wasn't able to do it. Sort of the same thing. Do you think you're the right Mexican to beat Bivol?
I've sparred Bivol a lot, so I know what happens in those sparring sessions. So yeah, I can beat him.
You think you're the guy?
I can knock him out.
¿Qué dice al pueblo mexicano que debe venirse el muchacho?
Pues aquí estoy yo estoy listo para pelear a quien sea. Yo estoy listo y lo noqueo a todos también.
La vista, claro, está bien.
Sí.
David, ¿la bandera roja o el monstruo mexicano?
Me gusta, pues ya tengo 10 años con la bandera roja. Es un nombre que me dio mi promotor, pero ya que me dio este nombre el Mike Tyson, me gusta un poquito más el monstruo mexicano.
¿Consideras que eres lo que el boxeo mexicano actualmente necesita?
Pues no nomás el boxeo mexicano, porque yo también de parte de mi familia, mi mamá es de Ecuador. So, yo creo que lo que yo quiero enseñar a todos los latinos que somos guerreros. No, it doesn't matter what latino que eres, todos los latinos son guerreros. Y eso es lo que quiero enseñar.
¿Cómo te has sentido ahora con Memo en tu formación?
Me siento muy bien, los acoplamos muy bien. Él es un muy buen entrenador y me siento muy fuerte trabajando con él.
¿Le podrías mandar un saludo a mi papá, al Happy Face?
¿Es tu papá, el Happy Face?
Sí.
El hermano de Puebla.
Ese mero.
¿Qué onda, Happy Face? ¿Cómo andas?
Muchas gracias, David.
David, how does it feel? Caleb has mentioned some personal things with you coming up positive on the test in the past and the missing weight. How irritated are those
It
comments?
doesn't irritate me at all. It happened. I'm not fucking gonna lie and say it didn't happen, but that happened years and years ago. As I'm comfortable with people trying to throw that in my face, making it seem like that's what I still am, but I'm not. If that's who you think, that I'm a flat-footed fighter, I'm a undisciplined fighter, I'm a drug addict, I'm a this, and you think whatever you want. When I get your ass in that ring, no matter who it is, you're not gonna be thinking that after the fight.
David, with Canelo seemingly tied up for the rest of this year, it looks like he wants to fight Bivol in the fall. What does the rest of your year look like? I know your intent is to win. Do we expect another pay-per-view fight with Charlo? Where do you take your career after this one?
I can't really say because, I've been trying to predict it for the past 3 years and nothing happens like how you think it's going to happen. So we're just focused on this fight right now. I'm gonna give 100% of myself, and this is going to be the best version of myself you will see. And then after the fight, we can think about that because I don't know where this ball's going to go after this.
David, when you visualize the knockout, when you're like at night thinking about how it's going to happen, is it like a culmination of punches, a body shot? Is it how does it look to you?
Yeah, so when I see it in my head, I see a couple ways. I see body shots, I see combinations, and I see him giving up himself. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of possibilities of how I could do it. but we're just gonna work. We're gonna continue working hard. But the thing that's guaranteed is I'm going to knock him out.
When you are thinking about the fight as well, are you kind of one of those guys that talks to the fighter, kind of starts breaking their will mentally as far as like verbally as well in there?
I only start talking unless they talk to me. I mean, so if he starts talking, I'm definitely gonna talk shit. But if he doesn't, then I don't need to talk to somebody to break their will. I'll just fucking hit him in the body and beat them up, and that's what they do.
He's done that before. Obviously, we all heard him talking to Canelo in the ring. I know you had your opinion about that, or him kind of maybe verbally
That was his
giving
cry
up.
for help. And like, please, Canelo, don't knock me out. So, I mean, he got knocked out anyway, so it didn't even matter.
Do you think that happens with you?
Two more questions.
Do you think he's going to talk to you? And
I don't know.
David, talk about your motivation. Where to get all of this confidence and the fire that's in your heart? How much greater is the fire in your heart
So,
this upcoming fight?
the confidence came from when I was young. I didn't have an amateur career, but my amateur career was sparring top champions. Start from Kelly Pavlik, Golovkin, Surdo Ramirez. I spent about 4 years just going back to camp to Big Bear, sparring with Golovkin. So I feel like that's really what made me into who I am now, because the sparring sessions we're in, we're not sparring sessions. They see whoever gets knocked out, you know what I mean? So we're fucking going at it all the time. And imagine sparring Golovkin 15, all the way to 19. You're gonna have a lot of confidence in yourself. So, and just that, and it, just the way I fight. I know my spirit, my fighting spirit. There's no taking it down. I love fighting. I feel like if somebody hits me once, I gotta come back with 3 shots.
What do you say to all your fans?
Last question, guys.
Any particular topic I should be aware of? How are you feeling? Good. You do a couple more? Sure. I'm in. Yes.
Kyle, how are you? What's up, sir?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. Steve Pineda, Pale Artist Sports, right here with Michael Kyle, Steven Espinosa. Good to see you, sir. Man,
You too.
we got one. We got a good one, a great one, really. What was it your call to not have the face off? Because it was a good call.
It was a consensus decision. After there was a little confrontation in the valet area of the hotel earlier today, which we'll probably make it. We'll have to wait until All Access comes out. Do you see that? But we were filming at that point, like as we always are. And look, there's a lot of genuine emotion here, and clearly something's been brewing for quite a while. I'm not sure that we got the answer of how it got to this point, but this is more than just a fight for them.
How easy is it for you when a fight has that, right? Has that drama, has that kind of history, and they're just going at it? It kind of sells itself.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, we as the network and personally as boxing fans, I mean, we want a certain level of respect and decorum. But we also, look, these are personal rivalries. And I think about, sort of my history as a boxing fan. And some of my, strongest and greatest memories were around these emotional matchups. The Barrera Morales, where there was hate, more than enough hatred to go around. Personally being involved with De La Hoya Vargas, and what that meant, particularly in Southern California, and how much emotion, that rivalry read. It adds another element of adrenaline, and it's one of the things that really separates the sport from virtually all other sports, is when there is that emotion between the fighters, it sort of transfers, and the crowd is even that much more emotionally invested. And then you've got not just a great fight, but a really emotional, exciting event.
I want to talk about the undercard fights as well. I'm hearing, I don't know if you confirmed this, but Rayo Valenzuela versus Chris Colbert is on that card. I also heard something about Joey Spencer and possibly, is it Abel or Jesus Ramos? I mean, if that's true, it's a blockbuster.
We're still working on some of those. Whether or not they'll be on this particular card remains to be seen. But I think both of those, if they get done, are fantastic fights because, one, you've got two young prospects, when you've got Spence and Ramos, and they're not quite prospects, they're more than prospects, but still up-and-comers, fighting, and that's a really important fight for them and their development. It's not really a loser leaves homes fight. It's like, okay, they're still early enough that a loss isn't going to really doom their career. But it's probably a little bit more pressure in a Valenzuela Colbert fight, because both of them want to get back on track. Now, looking at the opponents they fought, look, it doesn't mean even if one of them loses 2 in a row, that's not the end of the career, but that's a hole that you're digging that you don't want to have to dig out.
Another big fight that is maybe yet to be signed. It sounds like everything's kind of done deal, but April 15th, the boxing was clamoring, obviously for Tank versus Ryan. Any update with that? Is our contract signed? Is there, any roadblocks you see to that, or should boxing fans expect to see that?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a lot of misinformation. We can do a whole episode on sort of the dynamics of this whole thing. I never really thought it was in doubt. We had a very detailed negotiation exchange of emails where, we went really in depth on a lot of things. Is that a formal contract? No. But is it an enforceable agreement? Absolutely. But, having said that, we're now moved to formal contract stage. We've gone back and forth a couple of times. I think, all of the issues are on the table, at least, from the promoter side. And I don't see anything that's going to be a major issue. So, I've seen Golden Boy's comments, and they seem to be optimistic. I think from our perspective, we're optimistic. And, what gives me the most confidence, and always has throughout the process, is the fact that these two fighters in particular weren't going to take no for an answer. Without pointing fingers at anybody, there are points which various people, might have said to one of the fighters, hey, let's go in a different direction. I'm not sure this deal is going to get done. And neither fighter wanted to hear any of that and wouldn't hear any of that. So it's really a testament to those guys. Like, if you're a fighter and you're insistent on getting a particular fight, look, everybody else has to go along. And so, look, even though it was painful and ugly at times, and not everybody is thrilled with the deal. That's kind of the sign of a good deal. When everyone's a little bit unhappy, then it probably means because everybody's made concession to get the deal done.
Last one I want to get to. Where's your optimism level as far as the fight, right? The Spence versus Crawford. I know things obviously fell out last year, and I don't know. Should fans be optimistic, or do we got to move on? Is it kind of like a Pryor Leonard where we don't get it and that's it?
Again, I'll take the cue again from the fighters, and I know Spence is still interested in it. I've heard from good sources that Crawford is still interested in it, and as long as those guys are willing to entertain the conversation, then I think it absolutely makes sense. Now, the reality is, I don't think anybody is interested in going through that process again. So we've got to do something to sort of change the process and, get to a result more quickly. And so I think, we'll try to do that. But I'm not willing to abandon that. I know the fighters aren't willing to abandon it. So I still held out hope that is a realistic possibility for 2023.
Terrence just took meetings with Golden Boy. It would seem like that would kind of derail those plans. Are you hearing anything as far as with what went on over there? And
no, I don't have any information about those. But look, I don't look until Terrence or anyone else formally announces anything. What I'll chalk it up to is what I think any good business person would do in that scenario, which is explore your options. And look, whatever options Golden Boy has for him, I don't think it's unfair to say that they're not as attractive as the Spence fight. That's not to denigrate, those options or any particular fighter, but we all know which is the fight that everybody, including Errol and including Terrence, want. And so until it signs and goes in a different direction, I think I would chalk that up at just exploring your options and keeping them open.
Oh, it sounds like you're giving me hope. You're giving me hope. Thank you so much, Stephen. Much
All right,
appreciated,
you got
sir.
it. All right,
Thank you,
you got
brother.
it. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, sir. What's up, brother? Hey.
How are you?
Nice
Is it easier to go? Okay. Well, that's great.
No.
I said 5, I'm saying 1.
And I've been around him to see what, guys want to get that kind of feedback. And, like that old saying that Mom always said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So he kind of didn't really say anything, but for him to listen, I'll just say, yeah. That's good. Good stuff. That's a nice
Tengo meses entrenando ya, hacer mi campamento en los clubes, me siento muy bien, fuerte, rápido, me estaban rápido y estoy ya por es el momento más grande.
Hey, let's go my question, homie. Let's go my question, not my brain.
Question.
This freaking guy, I looked at him and all of a sudden my question disappeared and he said it. So you were like, when you envision, I did an accidental airdrop to you. Hey, look, I looked at you and all of a sudden I went, and then when you talked to me, you said the exact question about us. You envision yourself, I see it.
I started when I was 11, so 7 years now. Probably, I turned 19 in March.
Va a llegar todo seco,
Israel Mercado.
apagado.
Dita Mercado.
Israel. He's from Pagoda. Look, keep an eye out. Can I use your light stick?
They just have it on?
Ours batteries running out.
Oh.
Thank you, bro.
Did you go to talk to Caleb?
Yeah, but they cut me off.
Like one-on-one you got him?
Yeah, I got him
Oh,
one-on-one.
that's tight. Oh, shit.
¿A qué hora es el vuelo? I never see you had that much fun. You had fun. You had fun. No, I
Yeah, you kind of got to make it work.
Pregúntale al Rayo, Rayo tenemos vuelo, Rayo, aquí lo tenemos en vuelo. 5:45, Mira, 3:30 se van.
Tú háblame cuando llegues ahí, cuando hagas tu vuelo de aquí.
No, ahorita.
But let's talk real quick, bro.
you won a national?
13 times.
Come on.
Hey,
sir.
yeah, let's stay this way just to get that light. Cal Artist Sports, we're here with my other tocayo, Steven Navarro. Yeah, man. Talk to me, man. Are you in the Benavidez camp or?
Well, we've been talking with Benavidez. You know, he's a really good friend of mine, so I just came here to support him. You know, just supporting a good friend. Yes, sir.
Man, talk about, so if you're a friend of his, then you know this has been building for a while.
Oh, yes,
man.
sir.
How bad does David want?
David wants it bad, man. You know, this guy, he puts his all into it, you know. Once you're able to adjust to the boxing lifestyle, you know, you strive for greatness, and that's what he's doing. So I know he's been working for this, and, you know, God willing, everything goes well for him.
With the emotions of this whole build-up, right, and it's been building for years, how does that play out in the ring? Is it like if someone gets hit, they got to give it back right away, or do you think they're both kind of professional and can kind of subdue it to where they just stick to the plan type of thing?
You know, I think it varies. I know there's a time and place where they do need to be professional, and there's times where they don't. You know, in this game, you got to be able to promote it. But I believe Benavidez knows how to control himself. You know, so his plan. So it's going to be a real technical fight, you know? It's going to be amazing.
Did you think we were going to get a face-off today?
No, I didn't. I was hoping we did it, honestly. You know, we wish we could, but there's a lot of bad blood, and I didn't want no extra punches to be thrown before the bell, you know?
Right. That's a tall cliff to come off that stage, too, you know?
You know, so, I mean, Plan's been in this sort of position before, so they know how to conduct themselves. So.
What's the latest with you, brother? When can fans see you back in the ring?
Well, I'll be fighting the Golden Gloves the 23rd through the 26th, I believe. I have qualified for the Olympic trials, so I'm getting ready for that as well. And you know, if all goes well, you'll see me in 2024 Olympics, sir.
Wow, what a blessing, man! What a blessing. Talk about just as a child. When did you start kind of manifesting? Man, I want to hit these goals. Obviously, the Olympics being the first one.
Yes, sir. Well, I come from a big boxing bloodline. You know, my uncle's Jose Navarro, Carlos Navarro. My father's an ex-professional fighter, Refugio Navarro. I have cousins who box, David Navarro, Chantel, you know, Jonathan Navarro. And I've been introduced to it, but I really fell in love with it once I actually got a step into the ring when I was 11. I seen videos of my uncle when I was younger. And just the fact that you're able to showcase that legacy, that's when I knew I wanted to do it. So
that's awesome, brother. Steven, man, tell the fans where they can follow you.
You can follow me at team.s.navarro on Instagram. You know, follow the journey. You know, I'm just doing in the game.
There it is.
Sir.
Appreciate you, brother.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Best of luck, brother.
Sir,
Yeah.
Hey, man, boss.
You mentioned he's been hurting. I mean, so David set up there
Let's slug it out.
When you think of Caleb Plant as a fighter, when you see the play you really just made it, seeing what happened in the Canelo fight, you guys feel that
Leaving already, or I want to see if I can talk to you for a little bit.
have that extra fear to kind of
Yeah, let's go over there.
Don't ask me anything crazy.
No, of course not. No, we'll just, business as usual. Yeah, for sure. Frame here.
Thank you.
Karina, correct?
Yeah, Karina.
Lights. Alba was having the same issue.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Steven Gureño, Pale Artist Sports, right here with Karina Benavidez, David's partner. Man, I obviously you've been with David for some years now, so you've seen this developing, right? You've seen this I don't know if I want to call it hatred, but just this rivalry, this feud brewing for a while.
Yeah.
When did you realize, like, okay, this Caleb Plant might be in trouble because David's really pissed off?
He's really mad. I think every time David talks about Caleb, like he doesn't get really upset. He just tells me like, babe, this is the fight that I need to really, make a legacy, make a name for myself. This is how I'm gonna prove myself. He never takes any credit away from Caleb or anything like that. He just says, oh, Caleb messaged me this, or Caleb posted this about me, and I'm like, it's okay, babe, like, it is what it is. So, but I don't think it's like, I don't know, I feel like David doesn't really have hate in his heart. I think it's more of like a boxing thing, boxing rivalry, and he's saying and doing what he's supposed to do. It's his job.
You said Caleb had messaged him. Have they like privately gone back and forth maybe and that you
Not
know
really.
of?
I just know that like there's been like exchanged messages. I don't know too many details,
Right.
but I do know that David will show me here and there like, oh, I told him this and stuff like that. But it's all, boxing. David never really takes it to a personal level or anything like that.
With David in camp, do you see, or just maybe at home, I don't know, do you see him different now that the fight is signed and that now he kind of,
Oh my God, he's-
has what he wants, it's right
he's
there?
working so hard all day, every day, eat, breathe, boxing, all day, every day. And he's working extremely hard. At home, all we do is watch boxing. All he does is train, and that's pretty much it. He's 100% focused and doesn't steer his mind somewhere else. I'll tell him, like, babe, let's watch a movie. No, I'm going to watch boxing,
Yeah.
He's like, come on, watch boxing with me. And look, I'm going to show you this combination that I'm going to try at the gym tomorrow. And then he'll do his sparring, and then I'll pay attention to the fights that he watches. And then he does his sparring, and I'm like, oh my God, he did it. That's what he was talking about yesterday, that he was going to try it, and he actually did it. So he takes notes on his phone, boxing combinations all day. All he does is boxing. He's extremely focused.
Are you becoming like more of a fan maybe just
for
because
sure.
of that?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I never get bored watching his fights. Other fights, sometimes I'm like, okay, babe. But no, yeah, I am for sure. I actually just started practicing boxing too, and I love it. I'm like, if anyone tries to get me now, if anyone tries to
Put some
attack
hands
me,
on
I already
them.
know how to.
Right.
Yes.
That's awesome. What's your like role in camp? Because I know he's kind of been traveling before. He's been like in San Diego and like just other places. But now it seems like he's home for this one. What's kind of your role in camp?
Oh my God, I do everything for him. Anything and everything that comes to like our personal stuff, I take care of it. Cooking breakfast in the morning, making sure that he has appointments for, the chiropractor, getting his haircuts, his hair braided, or anything that he needs that's personal, that's gonna like not take his time away from boxing, I do it. If a bill needs to get paid, or we just opened a gym, and if anything that has to do with the gym, I take care of everything. So, yeah.
Just also congratulations. I've never talked to you formally, but congratulations on your little boy, beautiful little boy. Yeah, how's he doing? Is he kind of still hitting the pads and things?
Oh
I know
my God,
David would
he
show little
loves
stuff. He'd be
it,
like
yeah.
punching and things
No,
like that.
yeah, he loves it. He's so into boxing. It's crazy because we don't force it onto him, but he, oh my God, he is so cute. Like, he loves it. He genuinely loves it. Even if David will randomly, we're in the living room and he'll randomly start doing push-ups or sit-ups or the weights, just get a little pump while he's watching boxing. He'll get pumped up, and Anthony will start cheering, "Papi, papi." So even if it's just like he's doing sit-ups, my baby's cheering him on, and then he'll start doing sit-ups. So it's all he sees, so he loves it. And other babies are like, "Oh, I want to watch Cocomelon. I want to watch, a Disney movie." No, he wants to watch boxing.
Do you see a difference in David being a dad and to the before? Like, is there a different motivation, or how do you see him different?
No, for sure. He's so patient with his baby. He's the best dad. I always tell people, like, I honestly thought, like, maybe David's gonna be like, "Oh, you have to take care more of, like, the baby stuff, whatnot, because I have boxing." He never blames, like, him being tired from boxing from being a good dad. He's always like, in the middle of the night, I'm like, "I have to get up and make a bottle." "No, babe, I'll go. It's okay." Even though he just ran 6 miles that morning, he never makes it an excuse, like, "Oh, I can't do this for my baby because I'm tired." And I do see that he was meant to be a dad. As much as he was meant to be a boxer, he was meant to be a dad because he's so good at it.
That's awesome. That's great to hear that side of it, right? We always get the fighting part and kind of the aggressive side, but it's beautiful to see, these guys are fathers or family men,
He's such a good dad, and he's always there for us. Anything I ask him, he's like, okay, babe. He's never like, "No, I'm too tired." I try obviously not to ask him for too much or put too much on him, but he never makes it an excuse to be a dad.
That's awesome. It's great to hear that side of it. Karina, thank you so much for your time. Tell the fans where they could follow you.
They can follow me at Silva Karina with 2 A's at the end
There it is.
on Instagram.
Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much
So nice
appreciated.
to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Oh yeah.
You got us some tickets, bro.
Yeah. You guys are flying out at 5?
Yeah, right now we do like in about 5 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to take off in a little bit.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Let me know when you want to go over there. When you want to talk.
Okay.
Yeah, like in the next couple weeks.
Okay, let me know.
Okay.
Can we talk real quick, brother? Cal Water Sports, we're here with Jose Benavidez. Man, that was fun. That was fun. That was kind of what we expected, right?
For sure. We worked so hard to be at this level right now, and we're enjoying every minute of it. We don't think that we're better than nobody, but at the end of the day, it's a fight, man. We gotta convince the people that we're here to fight. I mean, I really don't have to convince people because they know how David fights. They know how Caleb Plant fights. So it's a fight. It's two styles, that are going to be very difficult for both fighters. Let's see who's going to adjust. But we're super excited, we were asking for this fight for 5 years. Finally, we got it. So we're excited. What can I tell you? We're super excited. I can't wait for March 25th. And we're here.
With, like you said, you've been waiting 5 years. Is it hard? I know David's professional, Caleb's professional, but that's a long time brewing with a lot of these emotions, a lot of, kind of high-tempered stuff. Is that a concern for you at all, that you got to kind of maybe bring David down so that he doesn't maybe get emotional and then possibly make a mistake?
No, that's normal. If you talk to him around, he's very relaxed. It's not personal. We know how to control our emotions, and we've been doing it for a long time, bro. To be honest, this is fighting. This is boxing. So, no, man, we're excited, man. We're not going to go there mad. We're going to focus. We're going to stick to the game plan, and that's about it. Nothing. This is just leading to the fight. To be honest with you, we're comfortable, we're happy, and excited. To give the fans these kind of fights.
Did you see any improvements in Caleb Plant with Steven Edwards being in his corner in this last fight, obviously with Durrell and him?
Yeah, if you put another 40-year-old, he's going to look spectacular in there, to be honest with you, once you put a young guy in there and see how he performs, I think his older trainer was even better. Bradman, we know that, he was a track runner. And, they make a good couple, like I say, both of them fucking have the same thinking, run. So guess what? That's a good coaching, make him run. So, but I think that his other trainer was much better. He took him to a world title. I don't know why he got rid of him, you know, but I'm not concerned because at the end of the day, you know, sometimes I've been working with David for all his career, you know, all his life. When somebody new comes in the camp, you know, you need like about 3, 4 fights to get adjusted and go from there, I think. So I think it's pretty soon. I don't even know what they're going to do with David. You know, they think they have an idea, but, you know, ideas are not going to help, you know. So
with the 22-foot ring, is that something, you know, like you said, Caleb wanted it? How do you kind of, knowing that, right, knowing he wants more room,
right
you know,
away,
he is kind of a mover.
right away, when I said that, you know, when they said that what they wanted, I said, fucking go ahead, just fucking bring him in, let's make that fucking contract. And they said, oh, you're not going to ask David? No, we're not going to ask David. He's going to tell me the same shit. We won that fight. So if I would have said a blue corner, that would take more days, and maybe he would have said, no, I wanted to fight, but they didn't take the fight. See, that would have looked stupid, you know? Right. So, I mean, yeah, so I mean, it is what it is, you know. I think we gave him what he wanted. Now, you know, I mean, I'm not crying about it. I just want the fucking fight to be made, and we made it, you know. So now I'm just thinking, motherfucker, just make it to the fight, you know.
Appreciate you, Jose. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Can I give you the venue? It's just for you and your team. It's just like.
¿Dónde vas a entrevistar?
No sé si se va a ir.
Sí, ya está.
El abuelo de ellos es
Oh yeah, it's every town like yeah.
When I was there, I was thinking of some
Nice to see you.
David, did you want the face-off?
What?
Did you want the face-off?
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, but I mean, I wanted it, but shit happens, I didn't get it. But I have to go do an interview with ESPN because I might have to go to the airport too.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Thank you, brother.
All right, guys.
Appreciate you, brother.
No, 2 minutitos. David,
you just have to go so let's
two questions. David.
So just 2 minutes, like in the middle of the
¿Crees que si lo noqueas antes sería un parámetro para compararte con Canelo?
Yo creo que sí, yo creo que y si yo lo noqueo después del round 6, los fans van a llamar esa pelea mucho más. Pero yo creo que eso es lo que va a pasar. Esta pelea ya se tiene que hacer.
¿Aún te interesa Canelo o ya empieza a...?
No, esa es la pelea que yo quiero. Sí, él tiene todos los cinturones y yo quiero esos cinturones.
Un mensaje para Canelo, si está viendo este video.
Es que me dé la pelea, ya estamos listos.
¿Piensas subir a las 175? Se dice que has parado con Bivol y se dice que han sido buenos sparrings. ¿Te interesaría subir a las 175?
Yo creo que nomás tengo, ya me faltan nomás tengo 4 peleas aquí en este peso, el super mediano. Pero yo creo que después de eso quiero subir y yo creo que sí, una pelea con Bivol, Bertby, si es posible.
Un mensaje para la gente mexicana y en general la gente latinoamericana que te sigue mucho en México. Yo vengo de México, la gente te adora.
Nomás le quiero mandar un saludo a todo México. todos los latinos que me apoyan, los quiero mucho y esta pelea va a ser por ustedes. Gracias.
Benavidez, sé que no has querido hablar aquí en esta conferencia sobre Canelo y eso porque tú tienes otros planes y sigues adelante, como dices. Pero decía tu papá que está en desventaja él porque primero la rodilla y ahora que las manos. ¿Cómo ves tú, Canelo? ¿Podrías ser el rival para ti?
Pues, la verdad, yo no estoy enfocado en nada de lo que está pasando con él. Y si me da la chance para pelearlo, lo vamos a tomar. Pero ahorita yo estoy enfocado en pelear con Caleb Plant. Estoy entrenando bien duro para esta pelea, es mi primer pay-per-view. Y lo que yo quiero hacer, quiero noquear a Caleb Plant. Y después que pase eso, yo creo que sí puede pasar una pelea con yo contra Canelo. Porque los fans van a llamar para esa pelea más. Pero lo que pasa, yo no sé lo que pasa con él o si tiene injuries o algo, no sé, yo estoy enfocado en mi peleador.
Entonces, no está en desventaja y están listos para él.
Sí, yo estoy listo para él.
¿Algo más que me quieras agregar?
Pues pues nomás le quiero decir a todos los fans que tune in marzo 25. Voy a noquear a Caleb Plant y se va a poner buena la pelea.
David, describe your relationship with Mike Tyson.
Well, I only met him once, but I mean, there's people, bro, that you meet, and that's the type of person I want to be. They make impressions to you your whole life. Mike Tyson, when I met him, he was so cool and so humble. He gave me a lot of advice, and just thinking like at the time, I didn't really feel like I did anything in boxing, but he's telling me that he thinks I'm a legend, and so that just gave me much more motivation. The other person who made me feel like that too, very welcoming, was Sugar Ray Leonard. I met him a couple years ago, and he was also a great guy, very humble guy, really motivated me a lot.
What's like what goes in your mind when like a Mike Tyson? Obviously, we were all kind of grew up with Mike Tyson being dominant in the '80s. Like that he knew you, that he knew who you were. He called you the Mexican. I mean, how cool is that?
It's very cool, bro. It makes me really happy. So like you think about it, you spend your whole life imitating these guys, trying to be like these guys, and then they come up to you, tell you, "I like the type of fighter you are." It just adds more fuel to the flame, and it makes me very happy with the work I've done. Especially sometimes I try to doubt myself. I think that I'm not working hard enough. Or not that I'm not working hard enough, that I need to do more. But if these guys, they say that I have the potential of being one of the greatest of this era, then it makes me feel like I'm in the right position.
Did Mike advise you about any of the pitfalls that befell him as he is a pro fighter? Did he give you any advice just about how to carry it as a whole?
Yeah, he did give me advice, and I think it computed into my brain a little bit better because I've been through a lot of that shit too. You know, I mean, I lost my title for stuff, substance abuse, and just seeing the bad side of everything, and kind of, especially giving Mike Tyson giving you free game on that and what to expect. It makes me have a clear picture of my life and where I'm headed.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff.
We've now gone to full contracts. We've been exchanged, we've gone back and forth a couple times. I've seen all the full voice comments.
All right, my peoples. All right, my peoples. Hope you guys like that. Super dope. That was cool. That was some cool stuff. Yeah, good stuff. That was really good. All right, appreciate you guys all watching. Thank you all for who did the likes. Much appreciated. Caleb left hella fast actually. So yeah, I don't know. Oh man, I hadn't seen all these comments. Crazy. Hey, there's a lot of comments on here. It's cool. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you guys for commenting, participating. Much appreciated. get all this content up now, so check that out for the individual stuff. You'll watch this for 100 minutes. Oh, sure, we're at 100 minutes, 101 minutes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Phew, we got a good one. Boxing got a good one. Phew. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. You can tell by like the media coverage, ESPN was here at like noon go. All the usual suspects in the media and stuff like that. Thanks, man. So yeah, it was dope. It was super dope. We're gonna get a good fight. Yeah, it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight. Thank you guys, much appreciated for watching it live. Thank you guys who have subscribed. Thank you guys who watched the video. Much appreciated. Always trying to bring you guys live content, the best content I can. And so I will be sending you guys. If you guys want to hit the like button before you guys head out, much appreciated. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free, I promise. And yeah, that might be it. Let me see. I'm gonna keep this on while I'm unpacking that. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Hit that like button before you leave, and subscribe if you can, if you're not already. Here, I'm gonna leave you guys live while I pack that.
You can start doing more business on sense that like, hey, there's finally like a little bit of a following process where we can see more of these fights between some of their guys and the guys that they were.
I'll be quiet. Hoping that this leads to the Crawford Spence fight. We had a chat with Crawford. We don't know what Crawford's going to go. But do you think something weird like that, like Crawford and giving himself with a promo like Oscar that you guys have worked with,
I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down so I can start uploading stuff. Thank you guys again. Appreciate you guys watching it. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. And appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Frankie right here. Talk to you guys. I'm done, bro.